Hey, you guys, a lot of men have been told that they're toxic because I hear that term toxic masculinity. But what you may not know as a man is that whatever feelings that you have around being shamed for being a man, having difficulty asking women out, not being able to get a girlfriend if you want one, not knowing how to communicate with your wife if she no longer wants to have sex with you, it all comes down to these trends in our society of women taking more and more power, and some of these extremes of these women telling men that they're toxic just for existing. You're not toxic. I mean, there are toxic men like Harvey Weinstein and the Cuomos and all this. A lot of people in power just are psychopathic. It's like normal people don't want those jobs. Um, but men, we need men. We need men because men are, I'm thinking about my ex husband, my sons, like they're stoic, calm leaders. They're on a mission, on a purpose, like they have focus, they have direction. Um, they're physically strong and fit, they're reliable, they are supportive, they are like the support, the structure. And what is really sad is that a lot of men feel left out because women have told them they're toxic. They don't go to college at the rates they used to because colleges have become these very left leaning places that favor women and woke culture. And we have no longer unions, we've outsourced jobs, we have more automation. And so a man with a high school education and even a college educated man often can no longer support a family. And so men feel kind of left out because these educated women, as women, we're hypergamous, we want a more successful man, and there are fewer of them. And then at the same time, women have told men that they're toxic. So, what has happened in the dating world, I'm 60, I've been single for 9 years now. And the dating world is completely different than how it used to be when I was younger. And it keeps getting more and more extreme with men not asking women out in real life because men have become afraid of rejection. They're raised by mothers who, I guess, told them that never made them deal with rejection, so they're not comfortable with it. So they're like, well, girls don't notice me. They don't want to do anything to be attractive to women, like get fit, wear some decent clothes, develop their inner confidence, be on a mission. One third of men 18 to 35 live at home. They've just given up. That's very sad for our society and very sad for these men. Like, I want to encourage these guys. And because men would really, they're playing video games and watching porn, and porn is not like having sex with a woman. It's very extreme and graphic, and it's not relational at all. And then we have all these women saying, where are the men? Because they've given up. We need men to act like men again, to be leaders, to ask women out in real life, because what's happening is all these guys are online. 80% of the men on 80% of the people on Tinder are men, and only 20% are women. And these women, these top women, are only interested in the top 4% of guys, the ones that have the best profile. So forget the online dating. You guys have got to start going out, doing things, and meeting women in real life and facing the risk of rejection. Also, you've got to stand up to these freaking mandates. Biden just renewed the Emergency Act last week. I mean, Trump put it in effect first during the pandemic, and then it was renewed twice. And Newsom just renewed the Emergency Act for California. We're not in an emergency. The truckers are real men standing up for our freedom. Stand up for men, stand up for freedom, stand up for women, stand up for children. Like, I'm encouraging you that we need you and we need your voice. And women, I think that we need to encourage men. Don't tell them that they're toxic. if they're acting in a weak way, in a repulsive way, because they're being manipulative or controlling or not keeping their word, I think we should just call them out and say, this isn't okay. I'm not interested in this behavior. But don't tell them men that they're toxic, because there are a lot of really good guys out there and they've given up. And what's happened is that so many of us women don't have any men. We don't have men we want to date because the good guys are married and there aren't that many of them. And the men left out in the dating pool are usually like the traumatized problem guys. They have some kind of trauma, they're walled off, they have a drinking problem or whatever. They don't have proper social skills. So if we want to help our relationship formation and marriage formation, we need to encourage men to develop their careers, develop their fitness, and develop the attractiveness factors that women want. Because if you read anything about evolutionary psychology, you'll know that men are attracted to women for their beauty. Like, they get hard constantly, you know. I mean, men pretty much will fuck anything that walks. When it comes to dating, they get a lot more picky. But we are a lot more picky right off the bat. Like, a woman can scan a guy in 2 seconds and determine if he is safe and, like his personality. Like, I'm really good at reading people's faces, like how they walk, how they move, and we pick up on people's sense. So the things that we require of men to make them attractive to us are things that make men better in their everyday life, like good social skills, good grooming, physical strength and health, emotional stability, mental stability. You know, any guy who starts like criticizing me or trying to control me, I'm not even interested. That's no mental health, that's no emotional health. Like these guys on LinkedIn that want to start arguments, I just block them. Like, that's not a masculine quality. A man is just going to be interested in my opinion or ignore it. He's not going to get all reactive. So men have to learn how to be men. You're supposed to be like not as emotional. And that doesn't mean that women can go off on you either, but we just are a little bit more emotional. And that's supposed to make us more attractive to you. I have a whole bunch of videos on my YouTube channel about men and women, but I just kind of wanted to like just put my face out there for you guys, because I've been making a lot of posts and you guys might be like, who is this woman? You know, I was really pissed off about the lockdown, I'll tell you that, because when the lockdown happened, I'm like, are we on a fucking alternate planet? Is this like communist Cuba or something? Locking us down? Like, that's something I read about that was in some weird alternate world. I ignored the lockdown. I found personal trainers. I'm in the best shape of my life. I worked out through the lockdown doing Pilates and strength training, and I'm pretty fit. I love being fit. I like being a spiritual person in a physical body. I saw, like, why are we closing down stores? Why are we telling people they can't work and giving them money? You know, they're trying to go to this digital ID system. That's why they're so concerned with this Emergency Act and the vaccinations, because they want to make the World Economic Forum and the World Bank, they want to have a digital ID system, you know, like they have in China. And I mean, whether you like it or not, that's kind of the direction they're wanting to push us. There is no freaking emergency. There's no reason to extend the Emergency Act. There's no reason for these mandates, and there's no reason for kids to be wearing masks. I'll tell you this, if my kids had still been little when this lockdown happened, there's no way in the fucking world I would have sent them to school with a mask. I would have started teaching them at home. I would not, and if I had to work, I would have taken them to work with me. I would not have masked my kids. The whole lockdown thing was ridiculous. And that's the other thing. They try to make you obedient in school, because school is no longer a place you can ask questions. You have to repeat back what the teacher says. I have been, my daughter was born in 91, but I had them all in Montessori until I couldn't afford it anymore in elementary school. And I didn't like in the school, from right away, I noticed that they were always like lecturing to the kids and having the kids repeat stuff back. And then No Child Left Behind was the worst thing, because children started having to learn for a test instead of having to think. Like I would lead the gate reading program for some of the kids, and that was good because it developed some critical thinking, like why did you think this happened this way? And and some of those kids were like pretty smart about their analysis. Like I loved working with those kids. But I think we've become too compliant, too complacent, and what's made us so complacent is probably the thing you're holding in your hand right now, your phone. And I'm guilty of this too. Like I started in the last year just watching so many YouTube videos. I started thinking, if I wasn't watching YouTube videos, what would I be doing with my day and with my life? And how complacent is this making me? Like, I don't need anyone. I can just, I can order my DoorDash and have my food delivered to my home if I want. If I want all this stuff, I can be on my phone, on my Netflix, my dating app. I'm not saying me, but anyone. Your Netflix, your dating app, your video games, your porn site, your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, your ball games, and then you can have a beer and smoke some weed. They kept the weed stores open during the lockdown. Those were essential. But everybody else had to close. So that way you just become this compliant little person, and you don't even notice that your rights and your liberty are taken away, except the truckers. By the way, those truckers are... I like masculine men. I'm going to throw this out there. Another thing that women have done, have told you to shave all your pubic hair, your chest hair, and you look like a woman. I see these truckers. I see these beards. I'm like, bring it on. I like seeing a man. Don't let women take away your masculinity. Don't let a woman tell you to shave your pubic hair, shave your chest hair, and do her bidding, because no woman is attracted to a guy who is her little lapdog. I mean, maybe some women want a relationship like that, but honestly, I liked my ex-husband because he had fucking boundaries. He was a real man. And my sons are real men, but I see so many guys out there now, they're like little puppy dogs. They don't have physical strength, they don't have mental strength or emotional strength, and it's because they're on their freaking phones. They got a trophy just for playing soccer. They're afraid of rejection. Guys, okay, here's my tip for guys. I'm going to end this with some tips. Get to the gym. Get strong. Do some CrossFit. Do some cardio intervals. Get strong. It'll boost your testosterone and your mood. Get some clothes that fit. Decent clothes that fit. And a good pair of shoes. And find some things you're passionate about. That's a good start. And start asking women out on dates in real life. Don't worry about being a creep. You're not a creep. Just tell a woman, just say hi. Just start saying hi to women. You can practice with the cashier. Start using your words. And put your phone down. Start living a life off your phone, okay? Go where women are. Dance classes. Maybe volleyball, CrossFit. And just start talking to women and ask them out. Just ask them for coffee. Don't overinvest in a woman. You can ask her out for coffee, ask her for a drink, ask her to meet for lunch, whatever. Don't comment on her body. Then we think that's creepy, okay? Just tell her maybe you like her hair, or that's a pretty bag, or that's a beautiful blouse or something. Don't be like, I like your ass. Don't do that. You'll learn, okay? Just start doing it and get used to rejection. That's real life. Ladies, I think that we have to be nicer to men. I think that we have to let them know when they fall short and not be so easy, quick to get into bed. Let them work for us a little bit. And require more of men. I don't think we should lead men on. We need to work on our fitness, work on our femininity, and not think of it as something like bad. If you want to have children, definitely plan ahead. Don't wait till you're in your 30s. Get a good guy while you're in college if you can, because by the time you're in your late 20s or early 30s, your chances of finding a guy are pretty small these days. They're pretty small because not that many men are going to college. If you're a college-educated woman, you may want to find your boyfriend in college. That's where I met my ex-husband. That's where a lot of people meet. But I really think that if men start stepping up, I really think that women are going to start uh, going wanting a man again. Because right now women don't want men because they're like they've checked out and they're weak and they're cowards and they're not fit. They're chubby. Guys, a little bit of fat looks good on a woman because it's curvy and it's jiggly, and you guys like that stuff. But fat doesn't look good on you. It's just kind of gross. It's not attractive. If you're fit, you're going to have, you do these things I told you, fitness, clothing, confidence, risking rejection, being on your purpose, good physical, mental, and emotional health, you're going to have your pick of women. I don't care if you're 5'2". I've met short guys who get women because they're confident and they're strong. Okay? So you need to work on your stuff. You'll have all the women you want, and then women are going to be like, ooh, I want that guy. What do I need to do to get that guy? And then women will start becoming more feminine because your masculinity is an invitation to us to become more feminine. But right now we don't want to be feminine because there's a vacuum. And when there's a vacuum, I have to be the man. I don't have a man to protect me. I work with men. They're coming at me, and they're coming at me too. They're trying to get sex from me. Even guys on LinkedIn try to slide into my messages. Don't do that. Like, I'm not here to provide sex for you. Why would I? I'm a woman. I don't, it's not the same for me. But if I see a masculine man, I start thinking, what do I need to do to get that man? I need to be more feminine, And then men will start, when men step back into the role of being men, we will naturally step into a role of being feminine in order to get you. But right now what's happening is there's a vacuum. 80% of the people on Tinder are men, but only 4% of the men get attention. These women, to get these like top-notch men, because there's so few, women start using their sexuality to get these guys. And it doesn't help you get them, but that's what we naturally do. We think we have to give them sex. And these men will take it, but these men are like Peter Pans because they don't have to risk rejection. They get women just for looking good or being on Tinder. They're underdeveloped men. A real man has stood the test of many rejections, and he's learned about women, and he's comfortable with women, and he can talk with women, and he can get women. You guys have to remember how to do that. So I'm just going to, and women now, we don't have a man. We have to work. We have to be guarded. I have to be guarded all the time. If I'm around my sons or like a man, I'm naturally more relaxed. Like if I go out with a man, I'm naturally a little bit more relaxed. Like not because I'm afraid when I'm all alone, but I'm always a little more guarded because I have to be the man and the woman. I have to protect myself. So I'm always a little more guarded. And then when men come into my DMs, I got rid of all that. I actually even deleted my Facebook this week. But when men are coming at me wanting something, I feel like they're plundering me, like I'm automatically guarded. A man must approach by giving, but don't overgive. This is just a long topic, but I just want you to know, guys, that your masculinity is not toxic, but you just left it behind. You left your masculinity behind because some people told you it's toxic. Your sexuality is not toxic. I want to say one more thing. When you're dating a woman, you have to bring your sexuality with you. If you try to be the nice guy, a nice guy doesn't want sex. Well, now you're a friend, because if you're a boyfriend or a husband, you want to fuck her. So you have to let her know that you find her physically attractive. You got to tell her she's beautiful from the first date. Like the first date you have with a woman, you need to tell her, damn, that dress looks good on you. Wow, you're so fine. Like don't be like overly, but you need to let her know that you're physically attracted to her, because if you shut that off, you're a friend. You're like a girlfriend. That's why women like gay men as friends, because they don't sexualize us. So I hear from so many guys who are like, yeah, I tried to be so nice. I was not gonna be like the other guys who wanted sex from her. Women want sex from the right guy. So you need to show your sexual interest. It's not, your sexuality is not toxic unless you're raping or pillaging a woman. But if you're on a date with a woman and you find her beautiful, you absolutely need to let her know, because it's up to the man to initiate the sexual interest. I mean, you guys have a stronger sex drive than we do, so if you leave it behind, I'm going to think that you're some wimpy guy, or you're gay, or you're just not interested in me. and now you're a friend. And women, we need to make men work for access to our sexuality, because our sexuality is our greatest resource. Just because we have birth control does not mean that we're biologically already wired to like guard our body, because we could get pregnant. So our body and our sexuality is very precious to us. Just to a man is his money, his resources, and his time. So the woman is the gatekeeper of sex, the man is the gatekeeper of relationships. And it used to be that it was a fair trade. The man offers a relationship and he gets sex, and they both have sex in a relationship. Well, now it's come to where the woman is just supposed to give sex. The guy just has sex with her, he ghosts her, and she's supposed to be okay with that. I'm not okay with that. And that's what men can do. Men and women are very different. I have so many great books on this topic. Women's Anatomy of Arousal is really good. Atomic Attraction is really good. I think those are some really good books to, kind of start with. I don't know how to make a 3-minute video. I really tried. It's just like a really long topic. Yeah, so anyway, thanks for watching my video if you made it all the way to the end. If you didn't, it's fine. It was super freaking long.